here's a part of the electromagnetic spectrum that has that you can see here that's been broken down into the individual wavelengths, if you will, and this is a rainbow. Of course, this is a part of the visible spectrum that has been separated out into its individual wavelengths because it's been refracted. And that's one of the properties of light, and of waves, excuse me, is this ability to refract. And so what happens is, as light, the source of light either comes from a light bulb or from the sun, or or from a hot object. And in this case, this light, of course, is coming from the sun. And normally you don't see a rainbow because the light that's coming from the sun, the visible light, is all moving at the same speed. And it's not really interacting with anything because there's not much between the earth and the sun. It's a vacuum. And so the electromagnetic radiation is just a way that energy moves, from the source to the receiver. And the source, of course, is the sun, and it's just going to move and move and move until it comes in contact with some receiver. And so what happens then with light, visible light, this part of the spectrum is the visible light spectrum, is that it can pass through air pretty much uninhibited, so we don't see the light being refracted or the light waves bending. Essentially, is what happens when light is refracted. But on a rainy day, when you have little droplets of water in the atmosphere, then the light that is, so you have a little droplet of water in the atmosphere, and the light is all what we would call white light, but really it's these slightly different wavelengths. Each different color is a different wavelength, and so when it hits, this is a little droplet of water. When it hits the surface of the water, it's going to cause that light to bend, and the different colors bend at different angles, and so that's how we get it separated out into a rainbow. Is the slightly different wavelengths of light bend at slightly different angles, and it's going to give us the rainbow going from continuously from a longer wavelength down to the shorter wavelength as the angle of refraction changes. So that is just evidence that light, electromagnetic radiation, has wave-like properties.